Hi, guys. My name is Jasmine, and I am your small town gray witch here to talk to you about Yule. Now, Yule is the celebration of the winter solstice. Now, what does all that mean? How do we celebrate? And how do we just enjoy the season? So, first rule and only rule, do what fills your heart with happiness. If everything I talk about has no considerable issue with you, do it all. But if it doesn't resonate with you, don't do any of it. Do what you want to do and what you think is working for you. Okay? So do me a favor and don't do absolutely everything. Don't burn yourself out. All right? That's my first warning. So let's talk about it. What is Yule? What is the winter solstice? So the winter solstice is actually the longest night of the year. Back in ancient history for us, the dark was scary for a lot of villagers, a lot of people. And it could mean death in a lot of cases. So during the winter solstice, which was the longest night, they would bring things into their house to remind themselves of the sun and to call back the sun. This is where we go from the nights getting longer and longer and longer to then starting to get shorter and shorter and shorter again. That's what we're celebrating, is the rebirth of the sun. All right? So the winter solstice is December 21st. Generally tends to move, but that is a good date to double check your calendars. But that is when we celebrate Yule, is December 21st. Check your calendars, things mess up, yada, yada, yada. So that's the date I'm going to give you. Now, this kind of started in the Germanic, or Germany is normally where it's celebrated, but it originated in Scandinavia. So it's a Scandinavian tradition, okay? But the winter solstice is recognized throughout the whole world. And I bet I can get some people in the comments going, no, we celebrate Yule in Scotland too. And I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. But from what I've researched, it started in Scandinavia, and we see a lot of celebration in the like Germany, European countries. Okay, and yes, Scandinavian can be European. Blah blah blah. Okay, all right. So Christmas, yes. Let's start with it. You're gonna see some overlaps. When the Christians kind of came in, they wanted people to become Christian. But you don't take away everybody's fun and merriment and say, follow our very boring rules and not expect people to rebel. So they said, you can keep your holiday, but like, let's celebrate Christ. So you're going to see a lot of overlap because that is what people do. And sometimes, yes, it was forced, but sometimes it was just traditions melding. So keep that in mind. Do what feels right for you, okay? And let the Christians have a Christmas tree if it makes people happy, and let pagan folk have their Yule tree if it makes everybody happy. Like, we don't need to be battling each other over this. That's not the spirit we're trying to invoke on either of those holidays. So let's invoke the spirits we want to invoke and not battle each other. That's literally how I feel. All right? So, one thing we can see is the Christmas tree or the Yuletide tree. Yes. So, during this time, people would bring things that were living into their homes to try to bring the sun, the life, the stuff back into their homes. And one thing that stayed living and stayed green were pine trees, evergreens. So they would bring all of the plants that would survive and stay green during the winter into their homes, and they would decorate them. Now, how would they decorate them? Would they decorate them with little ornaments that we see today? No. but they would decorate them. They would decorate them with things that reminded them of the sun. So that is very much a Yuletide tradition. So while you're doing your normal, trying to find your way, if this is your first Yule, you don't have to throw out your Christmas tree. Just make it a Yule tree. And actually, a really great way to bring your old traditions, because if you celebrate Christmas, that is still a part of you. You used to do that. So one way to merge the two together is just add some Yule ornaments. Or don't put the Christmas ornaments on, put the Yule ornaments. Now, yes, you can string popcorn. Yes, you can do all that. Now, one way that I love to make Yule ornaments is take several oranges, and slice them. This is a cute tradition that you can actually do with your kids if you want to. I'll give you a way to make it kid friendly. So you're going to slice the oranges and you are going to bake them. And when I say bake them, I mean like 200 degrees. Keep a good eye on them, low temps. And you're pretty much drying them out. If you have a dehydrator, that works even better for you, but I'm not that fancy. So we're going to do low temps and dry these oranges out. Once they're dried, you'll notice the inside of the orange peels away from the outer rim a little bit. Just find a place where you can put a thread through and tie a knot, and you'll have an ornament. Now, I understand cutting and baking aren't really kid friendly. The other thing you can do is give the kids some glue and some glitter and let them decorate the oranges with glue and glitter. It can get messy, but it's all fun. So you can do this with lemons. You can do this with oranges. Star anise, you can stick a string through those if you can get it through. I've done it with cinnamon sticks. I've literally just tied a cinnamon stick and hung cinnamon sticks. So these are all things you can do to decorate your Christmas tree. You don't necessarily need every little bauble. Make your own. You can do stars and with popsicle sticks and pentagrams and all the other fun things. Have the kids color them with like green and red. Alright? So those are all fun things that you can do to decorate your Yule tree. Now, that's not your thing. You don't really want a tree. That's okay. Alright? That's okay. But even your Christian folk, if you're in the closet, won't mind oranges hanging on their tree. They'll think it's funny and weird, but they won't think twice about it. Okay? So, the other thing you can do is decorate your home with Christmas stuff. So, you know those like pine wood kind of like little reindeer-ish kind of things or goat-like things that are mostly like I'm seeing them in the fancy decor stores nowadays. They're made out of like little twiggy things and they're tied up in ribbons. Put those over your house. You'll see goats all over Christmas house and they're like, it's reindeer. And I'm like, it's a goat. It's a goat. It's a straw goat. It's a straw goat. This could reference Thor. It could also be the counterpart to Santa, Krampus. It could represent, if you have different goat stuff around your house, that could represent the counterpart to Santa. Or a companion to Santa, because we've also seen Santa with little goats and stuff like that, due to where he's located. So, Santa is not Christmas. Santa is, yes, Saint Nicholas, but he's also known as like Father Christmas in pagan folk beliefs. So, Santa crosses over on that aspect. He's actually a couple different traditions put together. I did do a video on Krampus, so look on my page, see if it's up there, and if you really want to know a little bit more about Krampus, just a little bit, go have fun with that video. I really love Krampus, sorry. But yeah, decorate your home. Decorate your home. Have fun with it. The other thing you can do is do simmer pots. Now, a simmer pot is a great way to put protection and energy into your home. Great way to keep that smell going and bring in that energy. So, what is a simmer pot? It's exactly as it sounds. It's a pot that simmers on slow heat with water in it all day. And you can put just about anything in one. I think that this season would call for, again, oranges. Slice up some oranges, throw them in there. You could do lemons in there. I've done limes before because that's what I had in my fridge. And I love limes. I think of summer and stuff like that when I think of limes. You could do cinnamon, nutmeg, clove. And if you really, really want to get witchy, I'm not going to list what all of these things do. Go and research what each one of these things do. And as you add it to your pot, tell it what you want it to do for you. Okay? So if you want oranges to bring in a cleansing, citrusy, sunny, tell the oranges that. Okay? Talk to your things. They don't know what to do unless you tell them. All right? So, and you're going to let that simmer. And as it kind of simmers low, because obviously evaporation is the thing, just add more water to it. Simmer, add more water. And keep doing that. These are really great for home sprays and home washes. If you're going to wash things with them, I would not necessarily add salt. Apparently, I've never added salt. It does apparently leave a grime on cooking surfaces and things like that. So try not to add salt. Obviously, don't boil bleach or anything like that. This is purely natural things that are going into your simmer pot. If you want to use them as a floor wash, after you do the simmer pot, when you're making up your mop bucket, you can do your whole bleach and simmer pot. Just make sure you're aware of things that can't mix with bleach. We're not doing bleach and ammonia mixtures. We're not doing a couple of other things. So double check your ingredients and their safety, please. But you could literally just put it in a mist bottle and spray it around your house whenever you want that feeling of the Yuletide. Just because you simmer for one day doesn't mean that it only lasts one day. You can definitely strain it and then put it in a spray bottle and spray during that month of time. I would definitely keep it in a cool, dry spot, if not your fridge. So that way it doesn't mold. If you keep it too long, it will get gross. This stuff is not necessarily stopping from rotting. So just keep that in head. I kept mine for my first one ever I did. I kept it for like 8 months and I totally put it in the back and didn't even think about it. I used it for the season. I was like, I'll keep it. Thrown in there. I still got some extra and then moved on. Opened it. The whole thing was full of mold. So like, let's be smart in our kitchens, okay? All right. Now, the other thing I hear about is the Yule log. Everyone's like, Yule log, I can't burn fires, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you have a fireplace, you can definitely dress a log. So what you would do was you would take a log out and you would dress it throughout the whole season. And you should be seeing a Yule log here. You can put spices on it. You can put anything that's really safe to burn. This one is for candles. But if your fireplace is working, then dress the log. And then try to keep that log burning all through the night of winter solstice. Low heat, let it charcoal, you know what I'm saying. And just slowly burn it throughout the whole night. This is supposed to be extremely big protection magic. The Yule log is super protection magic, okay? Super protection magic. So, after you've burned your Yule log, what I want you to do is collect the ashes. When it cools, obviously. But the next day, collect the ashes and make a black salt out of them, which is just salt and some ashes. And then you have a very, 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 very strong protection salt for yourself. The Yule log, you stuff it with papers. You can put papers in the bark. You can stick papers to it. You can, obviously, if you glue papers, I wouldn't do that, but you can wrap papers around it. You can put in your intentions. You can dress it with, I wouldn't say oil because we don't really want to catch our whole thing on fire, but you can definitely, but just note, if you add a bunch of papers go up fast, they make big fire. Put it in a fire safe place, outside, inside, doesn't matter, it's just safe place. So this is a fireplace situation going on here. Let's be safe witches, not stupid witches, okay? Keep the S-A in safe and not the S-T in stupid, alright? So that would kind of be a Yule log. It keeps your house burning, and it keeps the scary night energy out. Is pretty much the purpose of the Yule log. Now, but Jasmine, I can't burn a log. I don't have a fireplace, or I can't burn a log in my fireplace because the fireplace is capped. That's why I saved this picture that you can see right here. It has 3 candles burning on the log. So the 3 candles will burn on the Yule log. So the Yule log isn't burning. This is a semi-fire. So if you can't do a full fire with a Yule log, this is a semi-fire safe option. So if you can burn candles, you can do this. Now, but Jasmine, I can't burn candles where I live. That's okay too. Another way to bring in that Yule log situation going on is I'm going to bring up a cake. Yes. A new tradition is bringing up this type of cake where it has the cream and then it's rolled up. I don't know what this cake is called. But cake. So this is just another way to bring that Yule log situation into your house. If you can't burn candles, by the way, there's electric candles. So dress a log, put some electric candles on the log. There's if you don't want to, if you're not resonating with this, just say you're not resonating with this. Stop making excuses. Like, let's be honest. We're gray witches. We're honest with ourselves. If this doesn't resonate with you, don't make excuses. Just don't do it. So we have massive friendly full Yule log. We have semi-friendly Yule log with candles. We have no fire friendly with electric candles that you could put on a log. But Jasmine, there's no logs near I live, or I can't find it. That's okay too. If it's not your thing. If you're a baker, if you're a kitchen witch, make this cake. There's recipes online. Make this cake. This cake is known as the Yule log cake nowadays. So share with friends. Have them over to watch Yule movies. There are Yule movies. I love There's Something in the Barn that came out on Netflix. There's Something in the Barn is a great, funny horror movie-ish, like pagan-y, awesome movie. So make this cake. Buy this cake. Buy it. Order it. And then watch There's Something in the Barn with your friends or your loved ones or your cats. And that's a great way to bring in the Yuletide log spirit. All right? And if you could do that on solstice night, you're doing amazing. Now, you're not a baker and there's no one near you. I'm that person. You know what you could do? Little Debbie Swiss rolls. Little Debbie Swiss rolls. They're pretty much this cake in miniature form. They're not good for you. They are so not good for you. But one little packet ain't gonna hurt you. It's not gonna kill you for the one time a year. So we're gonna eat the cake. Okay? Let them eat cake. So Little Debbie Swiss rolls look pretty much exactly like this, but they're coated in chocolate. So pack a Little Debbie Swiss rolls. Yule-ish movie, just send you Something in the Barn. There's Something in the Barn. Save it until the winter solstice night. Let me tell you, it is awesome if you like horror movies and comedies. It's like a horror comedy where it's kind of scary, but it's not really scary because they alleviate the scary with comedy bits in between. Awesome movie. Awesome movie. The other thing you can do is, I remember the paganish kind of show when I was a kid. It's called The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. You can get it off of Amazon. And it talks about how Amazon, like, it's only like 45 minutes long, like most claymations. But it talks about Santa living with the elves in the forest. And that's how Santa became to be. So, totally not Christmassy, totally Santa, but totally not Christmassy. Watch that while eating a Little Debbie's Swiss roll. Boom, you got the Yuletime spirit in ya. I know, it's if you are a college kid and you don't got nothing to do and you don't know, buy a Little Debbie Swiss roll. It's the easiest thing to do. Alright, they cost like $3 at Walmart. Buy some, enjoy them, even if you only eat one. And then there's your Yule log introduction, okay? That's like the knockoff Yule log. It's fine, alright? All right. So, I'm gonna get rid of the Yule log pictures. All right. So those are a couple things on how to bring the Yule log into your house. That's a couple of ideas on how to bring the Christmas or Yule tree, especially if you're in the broom closet, into your house. By the way, if you notice, I'm wearing my stocking cap. These are not just Santa caps. These are definitely Yule caps. And again, Santa is not just for Christmas. Santa's not even really a part of Christmas. But I love the little bells as a brat. I can totally jingle them. I don't know if you can hear the jingles, but this is my stocking cap. And everyone's like, oh my god, you look so festive. Merry Christmas. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Happy Yule to you too. We can all celebrate our holidays. It's fun. Love it. I love it. I'm an asshole. And I love the fact that people, by the way, if you're going to be a Grinch and be like, people should not wish you Merry Christmas, you celebrate holidays. You know what? I live in a small town. They're wishing you good tidings in any way, shape, or form. Even if I am eating ice cream in pajamas on Christmas, which I won't be, but even if I was, they're wishing me a good day. Say thank you and move along. You can totally wish them a Yule back, but don't be a snippy bitch about it. Like, they're wishing you good. They could be like, you stupid pagan folk, and spin on your shoes. No. They're wishing you have a good day. Say thank you, wish them a happy Yule, and move along. And don't be like, happy Yule. Be like, oh, well, thank you. I wish you a happy Yule as well. Like, honestly, wish them good luck. They're wishing you good tidings. Wish them good tidings return. Like, there's so much more going on in the world than being pissed at someone wishing you a merry something. Alright? Alright. So, now, I gotta tell you a story about the Holly King, because this wraps into Yule as well, so we're sticking with Yule. I'll tell you Yule stories in other videos. So, this wraps in with Yule as well. So, we're gonna talk about the Holly King and the Oak King. I'm gonna bring their pictures up on the screen, so you'll just be able to, like, hear me. So, the Holly King and the Oak King. This story kind of explains the movement of the Wheel of the Year and Yule and the solstices and things like that, and why it is the way it is. So this is definitely a Celtic origin story. So we do have in the Greek, we have like Persephone and Hades, and that's how the seasons come to be. This is kind of the Celtic story of the seasons coming to be. But a lot of Wiccans have adapted this story and kind of took it into their hearts. So I wanted to share it with you because it definitely explains the wheel and why we have the solstices and such and why we celebrate Yule. So, these two were brothers. You can see the Oak King is the one who is lush and green and brown, and the Holly King is more of the holly, pine cones, holly berries, white beard, jolly. I think it looks kind of like the old St. Nicholas, but with holly and evergreens. All right? So the Holly King loves darkness, and he loves the winter, and he loves all of that stuff. He loves the cold. And the Oak King loves the summer. And these two brothers, and some say they're twins, battle it out twice a year. Twice a year they battle it out. One on the winter solstice, and one on the summer solstice. So, no one knows when these two were born, but they grew and they grew and they battled it out. Kind of like Heat Miser and Snow Miser. These are the pagan Celtic Heat Misers and Snow Misers. Alright. And so, on the winter solstice, or in what we know as now as Yule, or sorry, sorry, I'm spacing out. I'm going to bring up my map. So, the Wheel of the Year. Let's bring this up so you guys can kind of see it. So, the Oak King loves summer. he is reborn on Mabon. He gets killed by his brother every Litha, which you can see the Wheel of the Year. We have Samhain, Yule, Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Litha, Lammas, and Mabon. And we all know that the year starts on Samhain. So right after Samhain, we have Yule. And the Oak King, so this big green, lush, brown guy, the Oak King, wins on Yule. And he gets tired of the winter. So he starts turning it into summer, which is why the nights get shorter and the days get longer, because he loves the daylight. He is the light bringer. He is growth and rebirth and love and, well, both of them are love, but you get the point. He is birth and summer. So he wins at Yule. That means he kills his Holly King brother. He kills him. And he takes over, and days start to get longer, and the nights start to get shorter, and things are starting to grow. And then come Ostara, which is right in that springish time in March, the Holly King is reborn. He's actually rebirthed, because they're immortal, so they just keep getting rebirthed. So he is reborn at Ostara, the Holly King is. But the Holly King is just a babe at that point, so he's got to grow and grow and grow. And at this point, the Oak King is still in charge until it becomes to Litha. Now the Oak King is tired. He's been taking care and making everything grow since Yule. But the Holly King is a fresh new buck, in other words. So think of it that way, like a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old fighter is going to beat a 70-year-old man. So, come Litha, the Holly King wins. The Holly King wins. And he kills off the Oak King brother. So now, because the Holly King is in charge, he hates the summer. So he's gonna, oh no, we're in the middle of this huge heat wave. I hate this. So I'm gonna start to make it colder. And I'm gonna make the nights longer, because I am the darkness. I am the cold. We need hibernation in this area. We need to relax. We need to do all these things. So I'm going to totally make it colder and longer at night. So that's what he does. And he comes in here and he just makes it longer and longer. And that's how we're getting this longer and longer nights all through Lammas, all through Mabon, all through Samhain. And the thing is, at Mabon, the Oak King is reborn. And then he is a babe, but he's got to grow. So he's growing at Mabon, he's growing at Samhain, all the way to Yule. And then again, he's the young buck at Yule, and he kills off the Oak King. Or sorry, he kills off the Holly King. So it's just these two brothers who are constantly killing each other and and getting reborn. So that way they may actually defeat their brother once they become. So it's constantly like 20-year-olds beats the 70-year-old, 70-year-old dies, 20-year-old becomes 70-year-old, so on and so forth. You get the point. Alright? So that is the story pretty much of the Holly King and the Oak King. And that slightly explains the difference of the years between these two brothers who are just constantly battling. Darkness and light, constantly battling. And yes, they've done this for pretty much an eternity. I cannot speak today, so please forgive me as I tell you these cute little stories of Yule, alright? So that's pretty much what we're celebrating at Yule. Every single civilization has their own customs. Every single civilization has their own traditions. I have my traditions with my husband, who I love. And honestly, we kind of rotate between the traditions on what we're feeling for that year. And yes, My family celebrates Christmas. I do not, but I'm not a Grinch. I go up there and I spend time with them because they are my family who loves me. But if it makes you insane, don't go to your family. You don't have to do anything. All right? And by the way, eating a Swiss roll is definitely great for witches in the broom closet. Just saying. All right. So, those are the general things about Yule. All right? Make your own traditions and teach them throughout the generations. And accept new traditions when the new generations come up with them. This holiday is all about bringing in the warmth, and that includes love and happiness. So, do what fills your heart, man. All right? So, that's the explanation I got for you when it comes to Yule. All right? Other than that, I want you to go and enjoy this season. Do whatever you freaking want. All right? I adore you. You should adore you. Now, most of all, go do holiday magic. Bye, guys.